Meeting will now come to order. We have a forum if they all figure it out. Two items on the agenda tonight. The first is to review the proposed 25-26 salary schedules and amend the 24-25 salary schedule. Donna Jackson.
Good evening. The first is only a presentation for the salary schedule. You don't have to approve, we have a whole month to, review it, and let us know, if you have any changes or any questions about it. First, we're going to talk about the minutes for the current salary schedule, the 24-25 schedule. The parents' hourly stipend, we increased it to $16, it's paying $16 due to, the increase that, have to do for the, local parents that are in the law. Pre-ACT testing administrators, $40 per adding, $50 for CTE instructors, and on MNT, schedule 3 was mistakenly left off the schedule, so we just have to add that. So that's the only amendment we're going to the 24-25 schedule.
Have any questions? Right, we'll move on to item 2.
We don't have
Oh, you're not finished?
the additions, the additions.
Oh, you got some additions?
Yes, sir.
Oh, we're done, I'll put it together.
So the addition to the 25-26 salary schedule as follows: an increase of $1,500 for certified staff, an increase of $1,250 for non-certified staff, $50 for the CT instructor, the parent hourly stipend is $16, pre-ACT test administrator, that's for demos or anything that's dealing with testing, is $40. Increase in substitute bus driver daily rate is $98 per day, and of course the MNT 3 will be added to this thing. Any questions about that issue? Like I said, you have a copy. If you need any other things, let us know, and we can definitely answer the question you have about that. How you doing?
Now you're ready.
Yes.
All right.
So now,
Second item is to review the 24-25 general fund and special revenue funds amended budgets. How much proposed 25-26 general fund, the special revenue budget? Mr. John and Laurie Lambert.
we about to put the power on you. You don't have a copy of front of you. So we're gonna start with the agenda. We're gonna discuss revenues, expenditures, transfers, budget summary, budget notes, amendments for the 24-25 budget, healthcare fund, debt service fund, special revenue fund, and capital projects. So our revenues for 25-26 are budgeted at $334,098,875, an increase of 16,000,000, 5% from the previous fiscal year budget of $318 million. We're projected to end the 25 fiscal year with $347 million in revenue. The increase consists of sales tax, $1.6 million, 2%, ad valorem, $11 million, 12%. We have a decrease this year in MFP of $4 million due to our local revenues, the increase in our local revenue. So as ad valorem goes up, our MFP, our local revenues increase, our MFP reduce. So what's for the revenues, work with the assessor, sales tax authority, and LDO to get the most accurate information that we can get. On expenditures, our total general fund. Our total general fund expenditures are $334,095,985, an increase of $15.9 million, 5% from the previous year of $318,185,966. Major expenditures for this budget year are as follows: $1.5 million for certain precincts, $6.8 million for phase 2 for employees, and $1,500 for certified, and $1,250 for non-certified. $3.3 billion instructional budget increase.
One point about that, in there, we have added $3,000 for, five additional strength coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, and 5 powerlifting coaches. That does include the, benefits.
I just want to make a note, that's for each of the schools so that the female athletes can have access to female coaches in some of our male dominated sports like wrestling, where they just added females, but we don't have female coaches. And like powerlifting, where we only have male coaches, but we have many female students, it'll give them access as well. And that will provide one for each of the high schools in each of those areas.
So next, we also budgeted $1 billion for instructional additional staffing. 2.6 maintenance budget increase, 1.1 million transportation budget increase, 681,000 for IT budget increase, and 693,000 for the executive budget increase. We're projecting the end of this year with 334 million in the spending.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes, it's one.
Mr. Lambert, you might want to, I know it says 681,000 IT budget, I know we have to know it supports that. I won't let the whole board know that we're not going over there.
No, sir. So, our bill is we get emails off of property tax. This year, we expect that to be 16.85 billion. We're only to be budgeting for next year 14.95. So the extra money that we get, it goes back into the main general fund where we can purchase with, where we need to use it. So, yes, sir. Please.
So our next thing is mention two, the employee contribution rate for teacher retirement reduced. 56.56% and 3.8% teachers retirement and Louisiana student retirement to 20.95 for teachers and 22% for school employees. So that's gonna also give us a savings this year on the retirement. And with our expenditures, we work closely with department heads to discuss what is needed in their department. And we monitor trends for the last 4 to 5 years to discover what expenditures should be made in the necessary. Any questions so far regarding the expenditure? Our next is transfers. Healthcare and Head Start transfers of 5.2 million and 450,000 respectively. Charter school transfer of 2.2 million. 24-25 budget transfers of 7.4 million, and we're projecting the transfer of 7.6 million out of the general fund for the next budget year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain that charter school transfer.
So what happens is, if they give us money, including MMP for charter schools, but we also have to pay that out for the charter schools. So that 2.2 million is what we actually get, at the end of the year, they send us a sheet on everything we have to pay out in certain things, certain things. And the charter school is been, averaging from 1.7, and it's been increasing every year. So when a child leaves our schools and goes to a charter school, that money goes with it. So we have to actually.
Including the online charters.
Yes, yes, including online.
Where they
Okay, yes,
So they use us as the pass through.
Correct. Yes.
We're it's counted towards our account, but then we're using the pass through actually to pay back to the school.
Yeah, we should reimburse them.
Yes, ma'am.
I think.
So that's that 2.2 million.
And that's been going on for years.
Yes.
The number stays between 1.5 and 2 million for the students who attend outside of our school.
Yes. Okay,
I also want you to know the 5.2 million for healthcare. Remember, right now, we're investing around 52 million in healthcare because we're self-funded. This is an additional 5.2. So as healthcare goes up, that's more out of our general fund that's contributing. So that number is continuing to increase. So I think as we move forward in the future, we have to look for ways to compensate for these large numbers. I just want to throw it out there, because those are the things that we're really look at.
Yeah, those, just a comment, the healthcare increase is almost the same increase as the raise we proposed. If we wouldn't have that each year, really pay our teachers. So,
yeah.
I don't know the solution, but that's if anybody wants to brainstorm on that, if we need better options. Do.
Yeah, no, but they paid. No, we did last year. So we did a $10 $5 But then you don't wanna turn around and give teachers a raise and then turn around and take it back for healthcare. So there has to be some sort of balance, so I think, us generating ideas on how we get the best healthcare for our 3,500 employees is important. I don't have the answers, but I'm letting you know that is something that our office will be exploring.
I think as a board, if we know somebody or have access to anything, just need to start bouncing things around and see if there's a better way to go.
Absolutely.
That's $58 million.
A lot of money.
That's a lot of money. I just wanna, again, put it on our radar as we move forward. Those are things we have to be thinking about.
So next, we're gonna go with the budget summary, 2025 actual revenues were 347 million. Expenditures were 334 million. We transferred out 7.6 million. We had a surplus of 5.4 million. 25-26 budget, revenues 334.1 million, expenditures 326.3, transfers 7.8 million, which leaves us a surplus of 1,809, so we kind of remain flat for this year. Next, this is where budget notes, all revenues from local and state and federal sources and expenditures are based on the most up-to-date information currently available and are believed to be realistic based on what we know now. Individual learning significant reductions in any of our funding streams or significant growth in assigned programs on which we are not aware of now. We will report back to the board with proposed changes to the budget request as the commission comes to know. So if you find out anything that have to make changes, we will definitely let you know. Now we're going to discuss the amendment for the 24-25 year. The major changes are 24-25 one-time stipend from the state, 6.2 million. November 2024 one-time payment to staff from the district, 5.6 million. Support services to exceed the budget amount by 6.2 million. And transfers out including healthcare 5 million. So it's going to be a amendment for the total amount of $23 million for the 24-25 year. Question? The healthcare fund, the service fund, and special revenue fund. The healthcare, Dr. Morgan's 2011 revenues are projected at 53.3 million, for expenditures 55.8 million. We're budgeting for $5.2 million to cover the deficit. The service fund, revenues are projected at 33.6 million, expenditures are projected at 27 million, excess of 6.5 million. And this is budgeted according to our debt service payment statement. And our special revenue funds, we are expecting a total of 27 million projected in total. After the project fund for the 25-26 year, 182, which is our general fund fund. We had did a transfer of 5.4 million was done on May 15, 2025. We're going to do a transfer of 1.5 million for the 25-26 year. Expenditures for the year are budgeted at 6.9 million. We're going to leave us a fund balance of 592,000. 192 and fund 108 was closed out. Fund 152, which is our supplemental fund for 2025 projects. We expenditures of 10.5 million. We're going to do a fund transfer of 6.95 million, which is going to be the fund now for 196 at the end of the week. Fund 325, which is our bond 2024 fund. Revenues of 3 million, which we're expected to be cancer. Expenditures of 29.1 million, which is going to be a fund balance of 97 million. We included in that fund balance the proceeds from the next competition. Fund 335, IT capital funds, expenditures of 1.8 million, fund balance of 126,000. And lastly, Fund 336, the contract control performance contract, 500,000 in revenue, 12.2 in expenditures, and after the distribution of the fund balance of 0. That's it. I know it. So like I said, the book is available with more detail. We have very fun and it's all cheap. So if you have any questions or concerns, they don't discuss anything, please tell us. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much, everybody, there's a lot of information.
Yes.
We have this information. So,
Yes, yes, it is.
like to go over, so, I know Mr. Sean, you'll answer calls if anybody, et cetera.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And also Dawn keep account, she's available as well. Any questions?
No question, I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. I've got second. Motion by Mr. John Francis, second by Mr. Taft Funfield, we all done that.
Thank you, Dr. Crawford, I appreciate that.
That's what we should have.